welcome back to Stitchcraft. My name is Mary the Stitchcraft Queen, and today is Wednesday, July 23rd of 2025. I almost said 24. That is not the case anymore. That is long gone. But yeah, we will I guess, so I already technically filmed this first section. I guess a little preface. We have a little, not an ant infestation, but it's the start of one. We're starting to see ants crawl right into our kitchen. Our kitchen's right next to the garage, so it's like really close. And so we don't have ant spray right now because we haven't needed it since Colorado, and we just threw it away when we moved. But we're gonna go get some tonight, and I made a homemade vinegar solution to put down like where the ants are coming in and around the area. I read online that's what you want to do. But I can't have my girls eating it because it is toxic, not really toxic, but like it's not good for them. So I couldn't find Chani. I thought she went downstairs, so I had to stop recording. But she's right there. She was on the bed. But yeah, anyways, I just noticed that cute little thing. Okay, that's cute. Anyways, that'll be for later. Let's get back into it. One thing I want to point out is we are now at week 24 of my pregnancy. So yay, big celebration. Week 24, for those of you that don't know, is known as the week of viability or the time of viability. It's where essentially if anything were to happen, any complications, and I was to go into early labor, or if something was happening in my health and they had to take the baby out, it's like 60 to 70% chance of survivability for this week, up until about week 28, and then it goes to it's like a 90%, if I remember right, survivability rate, so they call it the week of viability. So yeah, we are there now, which is very exciting. My family does not have any like risk of it, or history of it. I don't have any risk factors for early labor, but you know, it's always in my brain. I'm trying to plan everything, and pregnancy and birth is not something I can plan for 100%. So that is something that is very nice to have. Okay, we'll get on to my first project, and my only project, which is our matching Musselburgh hats. So once again, we're making matching Musselburgh hats for me and my husband. That's what it started out as. And then when we found out we were having a baby, we decided to make them a little hat. So this is baby's hat. There's just one loose end that needs to go in. I made the baby size so that it should fit through hopefully the first 6 months. That's when it's going to be coldest, and then because she's being born in October, November-ish. So that should get her through the cold winter months and into summer, or at least spring. So yeah, if it's a little too big, we can always fold the brim up really cute, really little. Used hardly any yarn. It was like, I think it was only like 10 or 20 grams per side. It was hardly any yarn. I would say it was probably closer to 20, but my scale might have been off. So yeah, that's a little baby's hat. That one's all done. And this is mine. Oh, my hat. So we're doing, the main color is the Flamin' Hot Cheetos color from Mountain Top Stitches. Sorry, I watch Crazy Sock Lady all the time, and she gets stuff from I think it's Mountain Top Stitches, or Mountain State Stitches or something. No, this is Mountain Top Yarn. And she used to do a lot more hand dye. I kind of stopped following a lot of these dyers once I got rid of my Instagram. And I don't really pay attention to knitting blue sky as much, which is good for my mental health. And it gives me more knitting time, which is good. But anyways, that was this color. I don't believe she makes it anymore because I went to see if there was a third skein because I was worried about running out when we decided to also do baby's matching hat, and I couldn't find it. And then this red, which is our brim color, it's just the red. I don't know which name it is, but it's from Malabrigo, and I believe it was their ultimate sock yarn. Excuse me, or it was just, no, yeah, I think it was their ultimate sock yarn. Hey, girls, no! Come here, Johnny, right now, come up. Hey, Johnny, right now. Thank you. You have to stay up here. Can't believe that, these two. Can't have them going downstairs and licking the vinegar off the floor. Huh. We don't want you getting sick or getting an upset tummy. That's no fun. Thank you. Yes, thank you too. They're both sitting at my side right now wanting pets. Okay, but anyway, so the red is from Malabrigo. I don't remember the name of it because I threw it away, but I believe it was Ultimate Sock Yarn. Very soft. Good, she's laying down. Okay, but yes, that's the brim color. All that is now left of the brim is this. There's probably, I would say, about 20-ish grams left. I didn't weigh it. I was going to and then I forgot. But yeah, so this is where I was last week. My goal was to finish this and then get through the last main section on my husband's hat. So I at least did this, and then I did about 5 rows, so about half an inch on the main color. And I did the main color last night because I did finish my husband's, at least up to the point that I wanted. Oh no, now it's all tangled from me pulling it in and taking it out so much. There we go. All right, this is my husband's. This is huge compared to mine. It is like an extra, I think it's an extra inch on the brim almost, because there's 8 extra stitches per side. Because essentially you're knitting, I like to think of, you are knitting in a circle, but when you're doing the decreases, because there are 4, if I can get it to stretch out like this, you're basically knitting 4 sides and then it becomes a circle. So each of the 4 sides has an extra, like, I think it was 8 stitches is what it comes out to be, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have to knit that many more increases or that many more decreases, it equals like an extra inch per side. So his does look a lot bigger. This is where I was last week. It was right before we went to Orlando. I had just finished the section, the brim, and then just put it back onto the main color. So that's where my little stitch marker is. And then I knit through all, you can see with my stitch markers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. And then there's a little bit more at the top. That is because in this pattern, let me see if I can show it again. It kind of showed up last time. There it is. You can see those 2 kind of leaning stitches, the ones that stick out. That's the first set of decreases. So on this pattern, you decrease and then you knit 3 more rounds and then you do the rest of the decreases as normal. And so I like to get through the first decrease and then the first 3 rounds because I can knit faster on a circular than I can on DPNs. So it makes it just a little bit more faster and like less time consumed for that project or for that set of, rounds. But this one is all ready to go on the DPNs. I would have already put it on the DPNs, but there are enough stitches to where, not that like they just fall off, but if I was to leave it on the DPNs for like long term or like a week or 2, then that is where I get concerned that it could start falling off. This is all the yarn I have left right now too, which it's about the same, a little less than the brim, which I am very happy about. My husband's is the only hat using this skein. And like worst case scenario, if I run out, I will take his off the DPNs, finish mine up, and then there should be a little bit left of mine. Me and baby's hat, little Cece's hat, were made out of the same skein, so it's like the exact same. His is a little bit lighter because it was a different dye lot. But we're still very happy with how they turned out. I gave him the choice, so I'm like, which one do you like? Do you like the kind of darker one or do you like the lighter? Because that one, his skein turned out a little bit lighter in the dye pans, and he wanted that one. So props to him, he gets that one, and I got the little bit darker one. But yeah, and then last night was when I finished that one. Had a little bit of extra time, so I swapped over and knitted like 3 rounds on this. But it's 3 rounds I won't have to do today. So that hopefully, I will have I'll have, my goal this week is to have the rest of my main color knitted on my hat, and then on his hat to get onto the DPNs and start those decreases and have them hopefully mostly done. I like the decreases because they tend to go away pretty quickly, especially once you get to about like 20 stitches per round. So my husband's will take a second. Usually it's not terrible because every 2 rounds you're decreasing 8 stitches, in total. So they go pretty quick. But yeah, they're kind of fun to do the decreases. So that will be my goal for this week. And then hopefully in 2 weeks. So not end of this week, but end of next week, hopefully I will have them all done, and ready to go. Once mine is done with the body and I have that first little decrease done, I will weave in all the ends because all the ends are still sticking out. This is how I like to do it. I like to do all the ends at one time. It just makes it easier because I hate weaving in ends. I hate seaming things together, so it just makes it just that much more easy. A little bit easier on me at least. Okay, but that's all my works in progresses. Oh, and once I'm done with these, I like how I still have it in a Christmas bag because I was lazy. And I mean, I'm pregnant. I don't have time or energy to change the bag out. But anyways, so that is done. And once those are finished, I will be finishing my husband's socks, which have been on the needles for a year. So I'm getting pretty excited to get those taken care of. This week too, I also did, before we go on to the yarn I got, I quickly went through my whips that are at least like in this closet right here. And then I have a little shelf in my room, or in our room, where I kind of keep the works in progress that I am mainly working on. And for some reason in my head, I thought I had like so many more, but I really don't. So my hats, which they take up 2 bags because this is the little sock on the go bag that I take it with. And then this is the bag where all of it was when I started, so I just kept the rest in there. But that's one project. I have my husband's socks. I have then 2 blankets in this closet, which are the Sweet Shop and my row 1 blanket. And then I have put like away because also in here I have the sleeve, one of the sleeves of our matching cardigans, and then the rest of it is in a closet in our office. It's like put away because I knew it would be a while. But that is all that was in there. And then the other one in this room is the anthology throw that I was working on with, this was before I got pretty sick from morning sickness. Was it before or was it after? I think it was before. I want to say it was before because this is the one I picked up after. But that one is in there. So really there's only, 6, 7-ish projects on the needles, which for me is not bad. It used to be a lot more. Technically there is my Beals Battenberg is a well, but that is a crochet one. So it's technically not on a needle. It's just like pieces of it have been done. And then, that one I would really, really like to just do, but I'm now thinking of doing it a slightly different way than I originally had planned. So I'm waiting to get all of the yarn from, what was it? No, I can't think of it. From Sunday Fiber Co.'s year-long beetles, because then I should have enough to do, because then I'm thinking of piecing it along as I go, which to me I think would make more sense in my brain instead of just knitting or crocheting a lot of tiny little squares like for forever and then putting them all together with like a black yarn. I think this one will be, number 1, more cost efficient, and number 2, I think I'll just like it more. Obviously it will look a little more scrappy than my original plan was, So that's something I've got to figure out, but I think if I put the colors together right and that's why I want to wait till I have all the colors. I coordinate it, then it will look really good. But yeah, so that one technically is still on the needles, but that's like it's kind of been pushed off to the side for a while. Or at least until I get in a crocheting mood. Another one was the baby blanket, which technically still is there, but I decided this week, you know what, I am not in love with this project at all. I thought it would be a lot cuter than it was, so I am just going to frog it, save the, cause I ordered this yarn originally for a cardigan that I still plan on knitting someday. And if not, I'll knit a different cardigan with it that will be using up the same amount of yarn. But for some reason when I put the order in, it ordered double the amount of yarn. And so I have like 10 skeins of yarn, bulky weight yarn, that I have to figure out what to do with. So maybe another set of matching cardigans for me and my husband, who knows. I don't know if he would like that color though. I would have to ask him, but that I'm going to just frog and put the yarn back and save it. And then if I have a new yarn that I like better for baby, I'll make a blanket. But I've heard too, you get so many blankets from people. And I mean, they can't even use blankets technically till they're a year besides swaddles. Unless like they're laying on them on the floor with parental supervision, but you can't put a blanket over a baby while they're sleeping. Because it's like a choking and death hazard. So none of that. So that one I'm going to be frogging. And then there is, from my memory, there's one more in our office closet, which is like in long-term storage. And that is one of the Annie's kits that I got. And this is from when I just started learning to knit. I think it's still on my broken prim needles actually, but it's like it looks like a quilt. It's really cool, and I was having so much fun making it, but I just got invested in other projects more so than that one. So that eventually I do want to make it. I have all the yarn for it now. I've had it for like a year, all the yarn for it, but that one might not be picked up for, again, a while. But yeah, main goal is hats, socks, and then I would love to finish my husband's fisherman cardigans along with mine before baby comes, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I was getting to a point like a couple weeks ago where I was getting sick of just knitting and straight knitting. I was like, it'd be fun to have a little pattern. And so I was like, maybe we could pull those out after I'm done with the socks, but we'll see how I'm feeling when I get there. If not, I have like 3 main blankets that I can pull out and work on as well. Okay, but that's enough about my works in progress. I just wanted to, if I had like extra works in progress that I was not going to knit or do for a while, I wanted to put them either in long-term storage or I wanted to frog them, which I'm gonna do with only one. So not bad. But yes, anyways, now onto the yarn I actually received. So this is from Polka Dot Creek Yarns, and they're from Canada, and they do the cutest little, they're called yarn bouquets. Look at these things, they're like, instead of flowers, it's little bits of yarn. So this is the last one I missed, because I am trying to get as many of these for them as possible, and I want to knit just this beautiful, I found this cool motif, and it's like arrows, and you basically can just knit until your yarn runs out and then add the next one in. And so that's what I would like to do for this blanket. And you knit, they're essentially strips, and then it's like my row 1 blanket, where when you do the next strip, you pick up stitches from the side as you're knitting, so you don't have to like seam them together at the end. So that's what I would like to do with my Polka Dot Creek Yarn minis. I think I want to do like the row 1 where I keep the family, the color families together. And so they're all still in their little bouquets. But anyways, this is the last one I did not get, which is the Irish Cream yarn. Came out in March, so right when my morning sickness hit really hard, and we were pretty We were a little tight on finances because I wasn't working at that time. We still made it through just fine, but we didn't have, fun money for stuff like this. But we're finally back to like being in a really, really good spot. And we have all the baby's big stuff right now. So I was like, you know what, let's get something fun for myself. So I've been really good about yarn spending this year, which I know I was really bad at last year. So big improvements. But anyways, this is the Irish cream yarn bouquet, and it was for St. Patrick's Day. So many pretty greens and then some fun neutrals to go with it. And this one came with the cutest little stitch marker. They don't all come with stitch markers, but it's just this cute little green heart. So I love that. Anything Irish I eat up because that is a big part of my heritage. I am a quarter Irish, actually. My grandma came over from Ireland, so little fun tidbit about me. Okay, this one has been like literally since I started getting these almost a year ago. This one was on the website, but it was always marked out of stock. And I'm like, okay, well, usually if it's like a hand dyer like them, it's out of stock. Out of stock. And so I was like, whatever, we'll just skip over this one. But it came back in stock. And so this is succulent. And I'm assuming it's supposed to be like different succulent colors, like the plants, which I love. It makes sense because it came out like spring, summery time. So that's when a lot of floral things are. But very pretty, a lot of just fun, fancy colors. So that's the succulent one. And then the last one I got, which I was surprised, usually they drop like 2 or 3 per drop. But from what I could tell, these ones were the only ones. I even went through their out of stock options down below and I didn't see any others that I had missed. So that made me very happy. But this one is the Popsicle Party. And this is their summer one. So lots of fun, kind of bright neons for summer. Very pretty. I like even the couple neutrals in there to kind of tame it out, but very fun, very pretty, very summery. So very excited for these. Those will be going up in the closet with the rest of them. Once I'm done with the 3 blankets I have on the needles right now, which those 3 are the Row One, My Sweet Shop, and the Anthology. This will be the next one I cast on. So excited for that, but I am waiting and I'm saving for then. This year I did want to do 3 main blankets, and that was gonna be this one, the Polka Dot Creek yarn, my Row One, and then the Sweet Shop, because those are gonna be very, very big projects. And then working on the Beatles one, like kind of intermissly. And then the other thing I wanted to do was I have so many cardigans already. All of the yarn is caked up and ready to go for like 20 different colored cardigans. But I mean, as we all know, I got pregnant, and plans changed. So, I started knitting for different things, and different things became a priority, and I got really sick. So that all happened. I wasn't gonna cast on any new cardigan though until my husband and I's matching ones are done, and I've stuck to that. So I'm very proud of myself for that, because last year Mary I would have just cast it on. I had like 3 cardigans going at one point with like 4 blankets. So, but yeah, so that is that. That's enough for whips and yarny things. Yeah, hopefully you'll be seeing the Polka Dot Creek blanket come and be cast on hopefully by the end of the year. Yeah, the only other like thing that I would like to cast on right now but haven't, and that's because I'm waiting again to finish some more of these projects and get them off the needles, is some little cardigans for baby. And I talked about this last week's episode. I even watched in between last week and now. It was a mom that was a knitter, and she vlogs, podcasts, whatever you want to call this, her journey as well. But she was saying for her first baby, she knit like everything, which when I first found out I was pregnant, that's what I wanted to do. And if I hadn't, lost my knitting mojo during morning sickness, I probably would have ended up knitting everything. But for now, we're just doing a hat. And even the blanket I had, we're gonna rip out. But I got yarn to knit like all these cardigans and like these different cute little, like there's this little cute bear onesie I wanted to knit. That's why I'm doing ears. Super cute, but I don't think I'm gonna end up doing that. But a big reason too why I've been a little more hesitant is babies grow so fast. And that's one thing that I have done a lot of research on and realized you don't want to get cute clothes for baby unless the mom's asking for it, obviously. But you don't really want cute clothes for baby, especially mine's gonna be in the winter, so it's gonna be a little harder because you know, we're not gonna be going out and about as much. Like obviously to family we will. We'll get her like a couple cute swaddles or onesies, but we don't really want any cutesy clothes. I do want a couple cardigans for her. We have a couple little ones already that we got for like, we found like on sale for $5 because it was summer clearance. But no, we don't want a bunch of like cutesy clothes. And so knitting those cutesy clothes and putting all that time and love and effort, and then only to have baby wear it for, you know, a couple times here and there. Like it has to be machine washable, or I would like it to be at least, because they're going to spit up or poop in it or, you know, ruin it somehow with their bodily functions, because babies, that's what they do. And that was like one of this mom's big complaints, which made me feel very validated, was she knit a bunch of stuff. She did end up knitting more stuff in toddler sizes as time went on, and she said that was a lot better. But something that I had already been thinking about was knitting these cardigans for a 6-month, or in a 6-month size, or a 9-month size, or even the year size, and then just rolling the sleeves up, because the cardigan, the length can be longer for, you know, tiny little baby, and then they can grow into it, and you can roll the sleeves up if needed on those. But that was something that was very validating, because they're like, you put all of this time and effort into knitting these cute little things, and then baby never wears them. So that was something, as I was thinking, it's like, I don't know if I want to do that as much. But she said hats were great. She said sweaters, especially in toddler sizes, were great. So that might be something when I get there I look a little more into. But I mean, we still have 3 months about till baby comes. The next month will be taken up by finishing the hats and socks. And then after that, we'll have about 2 months left to knit a lot more. I don't know how much knitting I'm going to get in once little Celeste is here. Because especially in that newborn phase, I hear you're just kind of in the trenches and having to, you know, your whole schedule revolves around baby's schedule for obvious reasons. I mean, they have to eat so much to grow and to gain their birth weight back. Because another thing about babies I didn't realize is it's normal for them at the beginning to lose a little bit of weight, because they've been floating in the amniotic fluid for so long. Their body has absorbed a lot of that water, kind of like when you go swimming and your skin gets wrinkly. And so it's actually normal for when they're born to kind of lose some of that water weight, which I did not know. And so they have to gain that weight back, and that's another reason why they eat so much during the first, you know, few weeks, is to get all that weight back. And then obviously they have to grow big and strong. So there is that. But all that being said, that means I might not be knitting. I'm not going to be knitting as many baby knits as I had originally planned. I still, though, will probably knit a cardigan or two for little Celeste. But yeah. Anyways, plans change, which is fine. That's why, again, I like to have goals for the year, but I am not super rigid in them, and I don't try to stick to them as much. Last year was a little more flexible because I had a little more freedom and ability to knit a lot, and then this year we kind of knew that this was the year we wanted to start our family, or at least try to start our family, so I was a little less strict on that. But yeah, anyways, let's get into, let's do media stuff first, and then we'll do pregnancy stuff, since we already talked a lot about baby. Media, what have we been watching? We started, well, okay, I guess we can say we finished Love Island. Very happy with the outcome. I'm very glad, spoiler alert, Amaya won. And Brian, I wish them the best of luck, although it's reality TV, so I doubt it will last. But I mean, I felt for her the whole time, especially now knowing a bunch of like Mexican and Hispanic people because of my husband, because he's Mexican American, and their culture. I felt for her because I'm like, this is just, it's just who she is. Like there's a lot of like white girls that I grew up around that were very, very emotional, and sure they may have hidden their emotions a little bit better or learned to, but like you shouldn't have to do that. Just be able to be yourself. But I felt for her like the whole time, and a bunch of the people that she was like, coupled up with or paired up with were terrible. They were terrible people. And they made her feel so bad about herself. So I was very happy that she finally found someone that like understood her, or at least seemed to on TV, seemed to understand her, seemed to get her, seemed to like her, and validate her. And then to have her be picked like as America's favorite, not only once but twice when they did the America Ranks Their Favorite People episode, that was very like, it just made me feel good for her. So we love seeing women succeed. And then what else was there? We started Game of Thrones. Technically we started a couple weeks ago. We only watched one episode though. And yeah, it's very interesting. It's very like, it's heavy fantasy, very world building-esque, but not like to a crazy extent. It's like, it's very heavy world building, but they make it like manageable, and it's fun already because we're only 2.5 episodes in. It's cool to see how everything's already connecting because there's like 4 different stories. Everything's already connecting. So very cool to see how they did that. What else did we watch? Oh, next week, the next Trainwreck episode on Netflix comes out, and it's the Balloon Boy. Or the kid that like, this was like when I was in, I think it was elementary or junior high. My husband remembers it better because it happened in Colorado. And so he grew up when he was there, like it was happening. But yeah, it was like some kid that like, got strapped to a balloon and like floated away above. But so that's the next Trainwreck that comes out next week. So we're excited for that. And we saw a Superman movie. That one was very good. If you aren't into immigration, though, you're not going to like it. That's been a lot of the complaints online that my husband has seen, at least. And it is very heavy on, like, immigration and equal rights, which we love. We love it when movies tackle, political things or, like, things that are very prevalent in the world around us. But they did it in, like, a very manageable way. And it's really funny because everyone's like, why are superhero movies like being so political all of a sudden? It's like, huh? Like, superheroes have always been political. Like Captain America was literally made during World War II era or right after, and he goes and he beats Hitler up. Like that's, how much more political can you get than that? Also, that one, a little propaganda-y because the whole Captain America, but again, it was a very political thing. And a lot of the big like women superheroes were born during the civil rights and the feminist movement where women, got the right to vote. And then, Roe v. Wade was passed and all that. And so it's very funny to see people not connect the two dots because they don't know their source material. They just see cool superhero beating up bad guys. But yeah, that one was very good. This week we're gonna go see Fantastic Four movie, which will come out. We're very excited for that one as well. My husband looked at initial reviews, which I always tell him, don't tell me these things, but he said that initial reviews were that it was like comparable to the Superman movie where it left people feeling hopeful and that it was a good movie. So hopes and prayers that it's actually good. Trying to think of what else. I think that was all the like things we watched. It was a lot of Love Island. There's 36 episodes. 36 episodes of this of this show, and it was a lot. And yeah, so that's all the media stuff we'll do for now. On to baby. Like I said, 24 weeks pregnant. We're at the point of viability. I just on Monday had my last monthly OBGYN appointment. Pretty typical from what I hear, up through weeks 24. Technically it's weeks 28, but you have every month you meet with your OBGYN, so about every 4 weeks. And then once you hit week 28, where you're in your third trimester, because things speed up so quickly, and because there can be a lot of complications as the baby gets bigger and bigger and bigger, like actually big now. We're not talking like, little fruits. We're talking they're pretty big now. There can be a lot of complications. So I want to make sure everything's going okay still. But anyway, so very excited. She was very excited too. She said, next time I see you, you'll be in your third trimester. And I almost started crying. I was like, finally. Feels like this trimester has gone on for forever. I think that's because in your first trimester, you don't know you're pregnant for like a month to half of it, because the first month of your first trimester, it starts on the first day of your last menstrual cycle or your last period. We're all adults here, we can say that. And then usually you don't find out until you skip the next one. Which we tested very early because my period was extremely regular. And like missing it meant something crazy was happening. So we tested pretty early on and found out pretty quickly that I was pregnant. But again, then I only had 2 months left in my first trimester, and so it went by very quickly. Whereas this one, like some sources say it's week 12, some sources say it's week 14. And so depending on your starting point, you then have from week 12 to 14 all the way through 28. So that's anywhere from 14 to 16 weeks. So it is not just 3 months, it's closer to 4 months. And so I think that has made it just seem infinitely longer. And then it's not even like the throwing up anymore that sucks. It's the back pain, man. The back pain sucks so bad. And like it happens when your tummy stretches and baby gets bigger, as all your internal organs get pushed up. I've talked about this so much. Here, I'll even like show it off. But essentially, I don't even know if you can see. I'm gonna step back so you can see my little baby bump here. Here it is. But essentially, not even my crop tops fit anymore. They all slide up over my belly. But essentially, so here's my belly button all the way down here. My uterus goes about 1.5 inches above there. Hi, baby. So about to right here. And this is where my rib cage is right here. So basically, my uterus is all the way up to my rib cage by now. All of my internal organs are from here to about here. And so this part of my chest and tummy area, it's like the weirdest feeling. And I like had to talk to my mom because I'm like, is this normal? But it essentially feels like when you have internal bruising, or like if you bruise a bone, that's what we called it, at least in our family. Or like your organ is like, it feels like my organs are bruised because it's just sore. Not sore all the time, but like if I touch it, it can be really sore. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. And then there's a lot of pain in your like pelvis area, I want to say. And the joints and muscles down there. Oh, she just kicked me for what I was feeling down there, and she kicked me. She's like, get off my space, Mom. But anyways, it's sore down there because as your uterus expands, the ligaments that hold it in place have to also grow. And it's called round ligament pain. And that, it hurts. It feels like growing pains, but like almost worse. They go away pretty quickly usually, if you like move to a different position. But yeah, it's kind of weird. The back pain though for me is the worst one. My husband, luckily I talked about this last week, he's so sweet. He rubs my back for me all the time whenever I ask him. I tried this week to do a heating pad as well. That kind of helps. It's not the best, but it at least kind of takes away the pain a little bit. At least for a little bit. For me, the thing that takes most of my back pain away is sitting down against a full stack of pillows where I can just like relax. And so that's been very helpful. I want to say the other thing that helped, but I don't think there's anything else that helped. I don't like taking medicine either, so like I don't take Tylenol every day for it. It's just something that I'm gonna have to deal with until I pop this baby out. But I mean, there's a lot more pressure on your backside. Your whole center of gravity is shifted more forward now. If I stand upright, I can't see my toes anymore because my belly's that big now. Which is crazy to think because it, like a couple weeks ago, like it was starting to grow and expand, but it would be more so like at the end of the night. Now it's just like my tummy is always there, which is kind of weird to get used to. But yeah, anyways, your whole center of gravity shifted forward because not only are you carrying a baby now, but you know, you have to feed the baby somehow. And so certain other areas of your body get bigger and expand as well. And then I was learning this in a video I watched from a doctor, but when that happens, your natural bodily tendency is to shift your shoulders back. And so you have a more curved spine, essentially. Women already have naturally a slightly more curved spine because of how our pelvises are tilted. But now it's like even more accentuated because of that gravity shift. So yeah, back pain sucks. This week I also got a cold from my husband. My husband got a cold from AGM last week, and then I caught his cold this week, and luckily it's just a head cold, but it still sucks because you're already stuffy from pregnancy. You have extra mucus, your veins swell as you're producing extra blood, and so part of that is your sinuses are just more congested during pregnancy. And then this sucks even more because now I actually have congestion in my sinuses. But we're almost done with it. Like I can feel we're on the very tail end of my cold, thank goodness. But that has sucked really bad. It's weird too because usually I only get sick one time a year, and usually it's in the winter. I have a very good immune system typically, but I mean, when you're pregnant, your immune system drops a little bit because your body's busy, you know, building a baby. And so it is very hard to stay not sick. And I was very proud of myself for not getting sick at my husband's work trip, AGM. I wore a mask on the plane because that just at least helps ease some of my fears. I mean, I worked on a plane for a year and a half, almost 2 years. I know all the germs and nastiness that is around there, so that helps at least ease my pain a little bit, or at least my worry. But my husband did not wear a mask, which it's his choice, I don't care. But then he got sick from some probably little kid because there was a bunch of little kids there. So yeah, that was fun. I guess good prep for motherhood, I hear, because I'll be getting sick all the time now, I hear. But yeah. Oh, baby's room too. Baby's room's all done. We ordered the sign 2 weeks ago for it. I wanted a big wooden sign above her bed, or at least wooden lettering. And it's the words to Golden Slumbers by Paul McCartney, aka the Beatles. But Paul McCartney wrote it. Even though I think it's accredited to McCartney Lennon. He's the one that wrote it. And that's the lullaby I'm gonna sing to Celeste. So we got those words and they came this week and we put them up on the wall and they look so good. I need to like one day, once like everything's a little more settled, I might do my next one from there, just so you can see how cute it is. But it turned out so good and I'm just so happy with it. So anyways, now her nursery's done. We didn't want to go like all out on her nursery like some parents do, but we knew that we wanted like I wanted a cute feature wall, and we wanted felt for sound absorption because we are still in a, a rentable townhome, so we didn't want screamy baby waking the neighbors. And so that was kind of the big thing, was we did a big felt wall, and then I wanted something to go on it, so that's what we did. And then everything else in the room is pretty standard. We have her dresser, which is also going to be her baby changing station. Her crib is all set up and ready to go, or at least it's in bassinet form, but it can convert into a full crib. And then we have a little shelf that we'll put her stuff on, and a rug, because we wanted it to be cozy. Oh, and a rocker, obviously. But yeah, all pretty standard stuff for a baby room, and nothing crazy. We were very picky about what we put in there, because we wanted it to be stuff that would last, but also not break the budget. So very happy with that. Yeah. So, and then I was talking about my doctor, and then I got sidetracked. She was very happy with all of the test results, because we've had so many tests and things done since the last time we saw her, because last month was the 1 month that she was not available, so we haven't seen her for 2 months technically, even though we went still to an OB to get checked out. But yeah, she was very happy with my good EKG/echo, baby's good fetal echo, and then we had a good ultrasound all in the middle. And then next time I also get to get the glucola test, also known as the pregnancy, I think they call it gestational diabetes, if I remember right, but it's like pregnancy-induced diabetes. Essentially, there's a bunch of hormones pumping through your body when you are pregnant that can block the insulin from like sticking to the sugar naturally. So yeah, that is how you can get gestational diabetes, because then the insulin can't take the sugar to the cells properly. It just sits in your bloodstream, and you get higher blood levels of sugar. So some women, my mom, my aunt, my nana did not have it, so I'm hoping I am clear as well, but you never know. I do have a different diet than they all do, so we'll see, but I have to go drink a nasty sugary soda. It's not even a soda, it's just a sugary drink. People say it's extremely sweet, like to the point of throwing up sweet, which is not good. I actually asked the nurse, because I'm like, I do not do good with orange flavored anything. Like if it's artificially orange flavored, I cannot drink it. If it's like normal orange juice, I'll eat it up. But if it's artificially flavored orange, I can't do it. Same with grape. Like I've had grape juice, like actual grape juice before. And it was all right. Like I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. But artificially flavored grape things, I hate. I cannot. I think it's because when I was little, we had the two grossest medicines were the orange and the grape flavored. And like most people ended up liking them as kids. I like the cherry and the bubblegum so much better, but the grape flavored things just made me so sick. I would never drink them unless it was the last thing, and my mom was like forcing it down my throat when I was sick. So yeah, I can't do grape. But anyways, I asked, and they said they do orange, fruit punch, and lemon lime. So I will have a plethora of options, thank goodness, to choose from. I'll probably choose fruit punch because that's already sickeningly sweet. But we'll see. So that's the next one. But yeah, we have rambled on long enough. We got through everything though. But yeah, we will see you next week, hopefully with a finished hat or two, probably not, but hopefully at least one of them will be really close to being finished. But until then, we will see you next time. Stay safe out there, keep cool, and keep your dogs in because it's still really hot out. Bye-bye!